So I think there was a lot of clarity given to me in 2025. We started off with a very chaotic year with my dad being sick, falling and breaking his femur here at the church, and having to undergo an extra surgery there. So that was just a crazy start to the year. And then aside from that, I had my own health issues around the middle of the year. Found out I had a benign brain tumor, which thankfully since that point, the tumor has actually shrunk, and some of my functions have, gone back to normal, which is, praise report in itself. Dad's up and walking again. We had a family member at a Christmas party this past weekend say, it's just good to see him up and around this Christmas, because last Christmas, he was in the wheelchair, not able to get around, not able to put any weight on it. So he's up and moving around. And then also with me living 3 hours away, there was some uncertainty there about finances and whatnot. Everyone struggles in this day and time with trying to figure out how you're going to make ends meet, whether you're making, $2 an hour or $2,000 an hour. It's a struggle for everyone in this economy. And so that was one thing I had intentionally prayed about this year was my job and some clarity there I took the job with the idea that it was directly from God. It was a God wink. Everything lined up the way it was. And then after everything happened with Dad, I kind of rethought things and said, well, maybe I need to come back to Sumter. I wasn't connecting with as many people in the area, just having to go back and forth. And so I thought maybe I need to go back home to Sumter. But I was able to get sort of like a half of a position added on to my current job, and my supervisor helped me get that in a significant pay increase. So that really helped with the finance side of things, and just being happy and comfortable 3 hours away has really made a big difference and provided a lot of clarity. So I think clarity is a good word to describe 2025 for me. As chaotic and as crazy and as uncertain as the year 2025 has been, I've been back and forth from Clemson to Sumter, and 2026 it won't really change. Obviously the circumstances change a little bit. Thankfully I'm not coming back and forth because of Dad's health, and I'm able to come and really focus in on my church family and growing and connecting. And I'm able to do that because of the folks at Bethel. The motto or the thing here is believe, belong, and become. And Bethel truly has been a great place for both myself and Dad as well. And just with him going through his health issues, that's something that really showcased that, because the folks in this church at Bethel and the community really rallied around Dad and around me too. I still had people reaching out directly to me asking, how are you doing? And so that really makes a difference whenever you have a church family that's so invested in you and invested, in how your journey is going. And so while I may be back and forth between Clemson and Sumter, this is my home. Sumter's my home. I'll probably be back here at some point in the next 10 years. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing what God has in store and seeing, in the very short term, 2026, but even beyond that, because there's something special here, and I feel it every time I walk through the doors. And I know that we've got great leaders and we've got a great community here, and I look forward to seeing what's next. Moving 3 hours away and taking a job that required a little more of me than I even thought of. It was a difficult decision, but it was one that I approached prayerfully, and I just like bought into the idea that you have to iron sharpens iron. You know, I talked with Miss Melanie and Miss Dinah and all of these wonderful ladies, and of course my dad. But just talking it out with people and really connecting and finding out that, you know, some of those same people have been through similar situations. And so one thing I've learned is when you're facing a hard decision or some type of new decision, like a new job or a move or something like that, is really, you just got to, obviously, I mean, steadfast in your prayer life. But you have to wait and see if that's what God really wants you to do. So when it comes to next steps, that's something I feel like I'm never quite satisfied with where I'm at. I'm always looking to the next thing. And I think it's just part of my personality. I'm always looking for more, looking ahead. I can be a little bit impatient at times, but for someone who may be nervous about a next step, I mean, you just have to find a spot, and that's something that, you know, any deacon or any, you know, trusted lady in the church or any of the pastors can help you with, is figuring out what your skills are and what makes you who you are and how you can use that for the betterment of the church and the betterment of God's kingdom. Going into the new year, into 2026, for anyone who may be struggling with their health, or, you know, if someone they love is struggling with their health, or just any type of uncertainty, obviously give it to God. It's so easy to say, but it's not necessarily easy to practice. You know, sometimes we want to rely on ourselves or rely on worldly things to get us through a difficult time, but it really just takes that alone time with God to really see something through. And it's not necessarily, I'll use what Pastor Chris said one time, sometimes we want a microwave fix and it's more of a crock pot fix. You gotta let it wait for a little while. So that was definitely something I saw in 2025 that I would encourage anyone going into 2026 with some heartache or any type of issue that they really want to bring to God, is just, you know, just to be patient, and it's all in God's timing. Like my life verse, Proverbs 19:21 says, you can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. So we have to remember that while we may have a timeline for our life and we may have different goals set, we can still work towards those goals with the help of God. But ultimately, it's in His timing.